bringing Octagon here today. What does that feel like? How proud are you of the entire team for what they've achieved?
Oh, like extreme, like probably nobody can imagine even the effort that we put in this. Of course, I know you do, but
it's the grey hairs, you spot them?
Really, like big. We had a big dream at the beginning, right? To bring it here, what we love, what we have a passion about, our brand, our sport, MMA. I mean, and bring the stories of our heroes here and help the local fighters grow with us. And I'm super happy. It was like crazy journey, which was all. Going to this specific day, so today it will finally happen. All the preparations, all the problems and everything we had, but also all the positive things. The great show, Octagon Challenge, which we did with two beautiful gentlemen, and the Stage to the Cage, and other projects, collaboration with DAZN channel, for all these big steps we made to make it here today. So it's really amazing, and I'm kind of emotional about that, definitely. I truly believe that the English fans and Irish fans will like what we are doing here. I will do our best, I can promise that.
Well, two guys that have been in front of those English and Irish fans. I'll go to you first, Paddy, Hulan. I mean, bringing a show like this over, you got a taste of it, you got to experience it, but you've also been a fighter out there, working your way up into the ranks, into the very heady heights of mixed martial arts. A promotion like this coming to the UK, coming to Ireland, how important is that, not just for, you know, the fans, but the fighters as well?
Yeah, this is massive. What this does is it gives so much more variety, and we have guys coming in young, fighting in arenas like this now, you know. When I was coming up, we had it, there's like a basketball arena in Ireland. It's like... what?
A workman's club.
Like like this, you know what I mean? But to see guys coming out here and being able to make it, and see the guys bringing this vision alive, and yeah, mate, to be involved with this is incredible.
Well, listen, there's been a lot of hard-working people here, but the hardest-working one is whoever got that earpiece in that cauliflower ear. My gosh, that is unbelievable.
Mate, I just said to him, it'll go in, but I can't promise it'll come back.
Look, Martin Stapleton, you are integral in the UK scene. You've held many titles. You've got a massive gym over here as well. You're part of the fabric of MMA over here. What does it mean to UK MMA, and especially when you are training so many young fighters? It's inspirational. This will motivate them in the gym, seeing something like this happen, right?
Exactly. I mean, like literally this week, we've just relaunched our gym, so we brought out a lot of new programs for that exact reason, to help motivate and inspire people. And having something like this on our doorstep right in Manchester shows them where you can actually go with this sport, you know. So we got like young kids coming in the gym now, and for me as a coach, this is perfect. I can be showing them guys, look what we're achieving, look what's available to you, look what opportunities are there on the table for you. And hopefully we'll have some of them guys on here pretty soon, Pav.
Still working, still the matchmaker manager as well. Look, the other thing we have done coming into this territory are these programs, the Octagon Challenge. We've brought our amazing ring lady over as well. She's beautiful, but also, of course, Stage to the Cage. But these guys were front and center for Octagon Challenge. Let's remind you again about the madness that happened on that show.
England versus Ireland is the age-old rivalry. This whole thing is not just about who's going to be the champion. This is about the bragging rights.
It's going to be rivalries from the start.
They had to live in a house with each other after fighting each other. Can anybody watching this even imagine what that would feel like?
These guys are going through the same journey.
This opportunity is massive.
This is life-changing. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
This is the life that I want.
It's torture. That is madness.
I said it there, that is madness. The whole show, the whole experience. I mean, you were there for the entire time. You came and dipped in at a very important moment of the series. But Paddy, you said it. Imagine fighting these guys and living in a house with them. It was a crazy setup, and what we've delivered and the platform we've given to these fighters and the final we have tonight is something special, right?
Yeah, like, I used to be more nervous about turning up to the gym to find out was that happening out in the house, Brian, to be honest. I'd be like, what happened last night, lads? And they'd be like, and some of the stuff that did happen, I was watching it at home sweating, you know, but I don't think they went too far, you know. They just went right to the line, and they knew when to stop. And the final that we've got out of this, you could not have wrote this, Pavel. You could not have wrote this, you know.
Definitely.
Pavel,
was amazing.
I said to you at the start when we talked about Octagon Challenge, it's been an integral part of Octagon becoming what it is across Czech Republic, Slovakia, Germany. But I said we have to do England versus Ireland. You went, okay, but the rivalry I don't think you believed quite how, on the surface, that rivalry truly was.
I studied history, but so I know something. But yeah, it was even better. Like the rivalry was so easy to. It was everywhere immediately from the day one. It was there, and what your guys did, especially the Team Irish, was. I can say honestly, from all 7 seasons, this was the best one, most craziest one, and I think it says something what we can expect here, right? On in England and Ireland.
Number 2 coming.
Well, listen, I mean, I think we should definitely keep that rolling. The response has been fantastic. You came out, Martin, at an integral part and with a crazy one of the challenges, because that was one of the beautiful things. We were at a castle in Slovakia, firing fruit at each other. I mean, when you just stepped in there, could you believe the madness you were entering?
Well, I got the day of one of the fights. Was it the second fight?
Okay.
I think so. I got there to see the fight, so as soon as I landed, it was like, get yourself changed, go and watching a fight. And it just, the whole studio, the way the gym was set up, everything, it was like super impressive. And then obviously I got to meet the team, and I just thought all the guys on the UK team anyway were really nice guys, number one, really coachable, and really all 4 of them had a good opportunity to win the show. Obviously George Staines has come out as the finalist now, and I think he's got as good a chance as anybody to win this whole thing, yeah.
I mean, the fights were absolutely unbelievable to watch, and Pavel, me and you were cage side for them. The other thing you said, not just about the pranks or the rivalry, is the talent. I mean, the level of MMA in this region, in this territory, across Ireland, across the UK, is so high, and I think you and Andre were in particular were impressed with that.
Oh, definitely. There was, I don't know, like, I recommend to everyone who didn't see the show to watch it again. It's worth of it, and especially because of the fights. You can read it even on comments on Channel 4 or YouTube, like what it was one fight better than another one, and they performed well, but they were, during the preparation under your leadership in trainings, they were like they act like pro fighters immediately, like from the day one. So this shows me that the scene here is so much developed, the discipline and everything, and the dedication to goals they have. I like it, really.
We just got a little glimpse as well of our finalist, which was George Staines. It is George Staines and Dennis Frimpong. That will go down tonight. We will crown the first ever Octagon Challenge England versus Ireland champion tonight. And for me, I felt the cream really rose to the top. I thought those 2 guys, technique, style-wise, in the cage were phenomenal throughout. Outside the cage, though, 2 very different personalities, right? 2 very different personalities. You were very close with Dennis Frimpong. He definitely stole the show in many ways. He was the menace from start to finish. Paddy, what was it like being with him? And he set his stall out from the start, right? He said the battle doesn't start in the cage. As soon as I meet these guys, the war is on.
Absolutely. Dennis is a big reader of the art of war, and you can see how he attacks and uses that, and that's incredibly important, because this is not tennis that we're playing, you know what I mean? This is fighting, and you can get into someone's head, and when you walk someone into this arena and you've kind of messed with their head a little bit in the first exchange, the minute or 2, you know, you just gotta be turned off for a second or startled for a second, and that's it, and you're stiff on the canvas, and that's what this is, you know what I mean? It's not like any other sport. It's not tennis. It's you lose, it's not good for you, you know what I mean, in a way. And the boys have put all of the marbles on the table. I'm dying to watch it. I cannot wait.
We're going to make this happening tonight. Stapes, you were in the corner for George as well. What a unique guy this is. And when you look at mixed martial arts and people's perceptions of what the sport might be or the type of people that do it, he is the exact opposite, right? He is just...
Yeah, he's the exact opposite of what you would say as an archetypical MMA fighter. I think these guys are like kind of polar opposites. You know, like Dennis is that quite loud, quite disruptive guy. I didn't think he went too far, though, with anything he did. You know, there was a couple of things that went on.
He sprayed toilet water at Hassan, and
yeah,
he put the British flag in the toilet.
Oh, did
he?
I didn't see that bit. Yeah, but he lives in England, so I don't get that. He moved to England. But still, at the same time, I don't think he went too far at all. I think he's a really good guy, Dennis. I really do think he's a good guy. But George, like you say, he's like the stoic warrior, man. He's got a lot of experience. He's done the IMAFs twice. I think he's won
European gold, yeah.
Won the Europeans.
And bronze in the Worlds, yeah.
Bronze in the Worlds. I think he's had like 16, 17 amateur fights. He's very experienced. And knowing him personally now, I don't think any of that's going to matter. Like, when him and Dennis had little kind of issues, the moment George walks away from that, he's forgot about it and he's moved on. It's not like he's taking it on with him and he's worrying about it, getting upset with him. And I think it'll be the same tonight. I think he'll put all that in the back burner, and I think you'll see the best George Stearns turn up tonight. It's going to be a great fight. Either guy could win this fight.
And it gives us England versus Ireland, Pavel. And I mean, we've talked about it. We had a very brief conversation in the hotel where you were looking at their personalities and the backgrounds Dennis has come from. So moving to Ireland, going to an all-boys school, sort of having to fight his way into, being part of the community. And then George, the complete opposite, the geek. It's almost like, you described it very well.
Oh, yeah, for me it was like totally different words. As we mentioned, like I think because he was going to the boys' school only.
Yeah.
Kind of used to, bully people. Maybe these things are happening, and he is this type of guy. And I think that George, it's like perfect example of this geek. Just this guy used to bully, and I think somehow he get on his target 2 years chasing him.
Yeah.
2 years he's talking about the George Stearns. When we started to film half year back, just the home story before the show itself, first sentence he said, "I want to fight a Lego guy." I was like, what?
The Lego guy.
All right, it was crazy. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Then if you have the rest of the story that he's 2 years chasing him in amateur level, it's not like pros and you see him fighting in some big promotions and you want this guy in the world of MMA fighters. And now he has him here. I would say this is this perfect example of this manifestation, right? Like if you just say it and you will get it. It's an amazing story. And so it's not just the show. It's really big thing between these two guys, especially from Dennis' side, and today we will see how it will end.
There's a crazy scene in the UK, like the amateur scene in the UK is like that. You have got guys calling each other out, chasing each other down. And, just going back to what we were talking about earlier, like the level of, especially in the northwest of the UK and especially over in Ireland as well, it's as good as a level as anywhere you could get in the UK, in the world now. The training you can get in the UK, in Ireland now, in my opinion, is as good as you can get anywhere in the world. I think these two guys will showcase that tonight.
I'm just curious, what do you think? What it can make with them to enter this big arena? There will be thousands of people. Then they never fought in this kind of environment. What do you think? How it can be for the still beginners? I would say.
I think these two guys particularly will take this in the stride. I don't see Dennis as being someone who's going to be overwhelmed by the nerves, and I definitely don't think George is going to be.
I think the IMAF is a little tiny bit different, and I've recognised this before. When you walk into the IMAF, there's another cage running and there's another fight happening, and it's kind of like kickboxing tournament kind of style. And then I've seen people do really well there and then come to an arena like this and be like, uh-oh, and it kind of catches them a little bit, Now, I don't think Dennis has that in him. That's just being, and I'm not being biased, but I think there is a chance that that could happen to George. You know what I mean?
Well, George has 16, 17 fights. He's only had 4 or 5.
But a lot of them in the IMAF.
The big crowd, big attention. It's Channel 4 doesn't live.
It is. It's true. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. Knowing George and knowing his personality and the way he takes things in his stride, I just don't see it as being an issue for him.
Well, listen.
I think it's different. It's different when you come out here.
The great thing is, we will find out. We will find out. We will crown that champion.
Beauty of the sport, man.
That is the beauty of the sport. It's the beauty of tonight, because it's not just about that title. 2 titles on the line tonight. And you talk about incredible stories. Maybe one of the most incredible across of all of sports. Aaron Abbey will fight tonight for the inaugural flyweight title. He is taking on Elias Garcia. Coming in, Elias Garcia, 3-fight win streak. Cousin of Sergio Pettis, Anthony Pettis, a phenomenal martial artist. But we have to take the time out to talk about Aaron Abbey and what he has been through. Born with cystic fibrosis. His parents were told when he was born he would not live till past 21. They were told, give him the best life you can, but it will not be a normal life. You cannot make him do sport because it will put stress on his lungs. They said forget that. They know how important sport is in the social development of children. So he went into football, he went into rugby. He represented Wales at junior international level. Scored a goal for Slovakia, own goal, by the way. There you go. But then
I never knew that.
That's amazing fact. Amazing fact. Then he went on to become a mixed martial artist, have his own gym. Got cancer, diagnosed with testicular cancer in 2017. Was a point where he was given 3 months to live. His parents were once again told, write a will. Your son will not be here in 3 months. Yet again, he beat the odds. 4 years later, 4 years on from that, this young man who was being told so many times he has no chance, now has the chance to write his own movie, to fulfill destiny, to make this fairy tale ending. It is a phenomenal story. And just, Stapes, you know him from being around this scene. He trains in and around Manchester, Liverpool. I mean, what does this mean as far as a role model stepping in this cage, from all he's been through to who he could inspire watching tonight?
Aaron Abe is like, he's like the Lance Armstrong of MMA minus the steroids.
Minus the steroids. He's a flyweight, we can agree with that.
But, you know, the backstory, like you said, all the things he's come through, and like, what an inspirational guy. And if you speak to him as well, like, he's not the type of guy who's like going to put it out there and make you know all that. You just have to learn it all about him, because he's like a very...
He's humble, he's
very
quiet,
humble guy, yeah. Trains hard, works hard, very humble, very talented. I don't know anything about his opponent, if I'm honest. I've not looked into him at all, because when Aaron's fighting, there's only one guy I'm rooting for, and that's him. So, you know.
You were at the press conference yesterday, and at the weigh-ins, just what he said straight after he weighed in and stared down with Elias Garcia. He says he feels like this is destiny. I think we all got a lump in our throat with that. This flyweight title is special because it's the first one, but having someone like him fight another world-class fighter, what does that mean to Octagon?
Oh, it's great. It's like a new journey starts, I would say. The new belt, first time we will be giving this, especially on the UK soil. And it cannot be better. This kind of story, which is so inspirational, I would say. Sometimes you hear this story and you ask yourself, and okay, and I think I have problems in my life. Really?
Yeah.
So, and it's happening in MMA, with one of the most toughest sports in the world, super like complex sport, which is hard, not just physically, but mentally as well. And he can compete on the highest level. I mean, I'm sure somewhere there behind the TV screens, or will be here, are many young boys who will be touched by this story, and gives them motivation to make their lives better and be better persons in their lives, and maybe future champions.
It's amazing. It's absolutely a wonderful story, and that will unfold tonight. That's our main event of tonight. One fight that we have had taken from us is the Shamrock versus Picorni fight. Now, we were all looking forward to this, the build-up, but then we had this. We'll show you the picture. This was the liver kick. The doctor is the one that has said this is Picorni is unable to take part in this fight. I'm going to jump to you, Paddy. I mean, you were close with Shem, coaches together. It's an emotional thing. They're fighters. I said we're fighters. They're fighters. But just sum up, you know, the emotions of something like that. And what are your thoughts?
Well, that moment is an intense moment, you know. You're at the cutting weight, you're at the coming down to the line, you're face to face with your opponent, your skin is showing, you know. It's I think Shem did say, "Don't put your hands on me," you know. And like at that level, at that stage, that's not a threat, you know what I mean? That's an animal statement of, if you cross this line, something is going to happen, you know. And I probably would have did the same, to be honest. I would have had to touch him, you know what I mean, to see what the reaction was. But it's a shame to see that the fight is off over this, because this was a fight I was really excited for, and it gets hot at this level, you know what I mean? And the emotions are flying. It'd be nice to see the guys kind of, I don't know, once they kiss and make up, but kind of make up so they can fight, you know. They're not going to kiss and make up fight, but they get the fight going, you know what I mean, in a way, because Shem loses home advantage here maybe with this, you know, but I don't think that really mattered to Shem. It would have been great to see the Never Walk Alone fans in here, you know what I mean, screaming it behind as there was a police officer walking in here at the fight, someone who was on the run for 10 years, you know. So there's a backstory in that fight. I'm raging that we lost it, but I won't say I condone it, but I understand them moments and that situation. There's been times where I've said in my own head, if this guy touches me, I am punching him in the face right here, right now. And they didn't touch me, you know. So, but I was ready at that time to do it myself.
I'll just it's not a tennis.
Yeah, it's not tennis. I'll just get you to touch on it very quickly, Pavel, from the promotions point of view. Hopefully it'll be rescheduled. Hopefully end of the year we'll aim for it. But this is the roller coaster, and no one really gets what you guys go through, right? The promotion with all this madness.
Yeah, it's crazy. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. But because, yeah, he lost the fight. She's super sad, like you described. Pokorny lost the fight. We lost the pay-per-views from Czechia and Slovakia. And like you said, everyone wants to see this fight. So everyone was punished, I would say, by this thing. But that's the sport. That this is happening in our business. It's tough business, and we just have to go forward and do our best. And yeah, this fight, I see it like that. That it must be rescheduled. These two guys must face each other.
With all the build-up they had, it's got to be rescheduled.
Yeah, I mean, it must be, right? Because even Pokorny deserve to face him, because now it's even more in the game between them. So yeah, we will see this fight.
Just quickly, what do you think the Czech Republic, the response will be to Shem when he potentially fights there?
Oh yeah, that would be crazy. I have it on my Instagram in comments. Oh my God, that's hell.
You'll be out there with him, don't worry.
Now it's a storm on social media.
So look, the beauty of this fight card, and it is a beautiful fight card. Let's take a look at it now. Let's have a look at the prelims, and also we'll move into the main card as well. It is absolutely stacked from top to bottom, right? Well, the fact we have these opening about Team England versus Ireland, McDonald versus Galazi kicking it off, Chadwick potentially with his last walk against Polivka, Yusuf making his debut here in Octagon. That is huge. He is bringing the Assassin army, but going up against the veteran from France, and then Lahore from Surdu. The fact that's on the prelims. You know Lahore well from Bama. I mean, the fact he is fighting on the prelims says everything about the rest of the card.
Tell me, but the card's amazing. Jack Cartwright, obviously you're going to talk about his fight soon.
Of
Jack
course.
Cartwright, got to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
World champion over there.
Well, look, let's not waste any time. So then we'll open the main card with George Staines versus Dennis Frimpong. As you said, Jack Cartwright making his debut. Supposed to fight Ratis. Assis stepping in. Stage to the cage, guys. Stage to the cage will be there, and I'll talk about that in a second. Banik versus Wanless. Askin versus Ducis. Askin back for the first time in the North for 6 years. That is going to be crazy to see the response. And then topped off by our inaugural title fight, the flyweight title with AB versus Garcia. Let's just talk about stage to the cage before we jump into this. What a journey these guys have been on. Jake versus Paul. We talked about it. I showed you these two guys, and you thought they might be a little bit crazy and just, take it semi-seriously. But Pavel, they've given everything, right?
Yeah, they leave everything 10 months. Like, the rookies, they start to train in February. 3 times per day. We were like, hey guys, easy. Like, fight is not in 2 weeks, or 5. Like, so they were overtrained, I would say, most of the time, plus gigging. But yeah, they sacrifice everything. They show people outside of the MMA bubble, let's say, what does it mean to prepare for MMA? What does it mean? What all contains, how much sacrifice and you need to make to compete in this sport. And that's the beautiful thing. That's what we want to achieve, and we get it. So many people are watching. It was like amazed. Wow, this is crazy. And yeah, I'm curious just what will happen in their heads. Like, it's first fight. I think you are mostly in panic, but I don't know. I wish them the best. Yeah.
Their whole aim, and they said it multiple times, is the reason they want to train so hard is they want to represent the sport of mixed martial arts and show people the community of people that are in it, dispel those myths. I mean, Paddy, they have given absolutely everything. If you're backstage there with them now, what's your one piece of advice you give to them making this walk and making a professional debut?
I'd say be very careful in the first minute or two, because when you turn back into a human, because that's what happens, you're superhuman for them 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's like, and you're turning back into a human. So massive respect for these guys stepping in and doing something like this. I teach a lot of beginners courses at home on beginners, and they don't really understand how hard it is to move your hips. They're usually screaming at the television, get up, and then all of a sudden they're looking at you going, is this what this takes? I don't think they understand a little movement can take a long time to master. And I'd say these guys woke up this morning and were like, fuck.
Summed up in one word. And Stapes, look, let's talk about their 2 different styles as well. Jake has basically tried to absorb as much of MMA as possible. The grappling, he's already got a very good athletic background. Striking has come naturally to him. Paul Smith has trained basically 3 things: single leg, double leg, and getting up from on bottom. And that's with the Blackledge MMA boys. Yeah. So what is your thoughts on that as 2 different strategies moving into this?
Well, so, look, I don't know anything about either of the backgrounds before this. All I know is that Paul's been training with Tom Blackledge, and I know Tom's an excellent coach. I know he's really good at mindset work. I know he's a really good coach, a former world champion himself. And I can guarantee, he's a good friend of mine, I can guarantee and stand on that when he walks in that cage, he will be fully prepared. Tom will have game planned properly with him. They'll train, they'll prepare properly for this. He's used to walking out in front of crowds with the comedian stuff, the comedy stuff that he does as well. So maybe that's not going to be a factor. But like me and Paddy were talking about earlier, walking out in front of a crowd to tell jokes is one thing. Walking out in front of a crowd when there's another man trying to...
It's a different game, mate.
Defeat you,
It's a different type of heckle, that.
So Who knows, man? I'm gonna say Paul. I'm gonna say Paul by ground and
You
pound.
know what? You've read me. We should spend more time together. You read my mind. I'm going to go down the line. What's your thoughts, Jake or Paul?
I'm looking at like the athletic situation here, because sometimes it comes down to that in a fight. So after the two of them have pumped and pumped for 2 minutes, I think the most athletic person is going to actually take away with this. So this is what usually happens in amateur MMA, when the two guys are not as skilled. The most athletic fighter usually takes it away.
And Pavel, I'm going to chuck you over there just to get your thoughts.
Well, hard to say, yeah, but I would just wish them best. And yeah, like I said, the athleticism maybe I would say a little bit more for Jake, but yeah, not. But what you said, like it's so much in game. I don't know, really.
Listen, there we go. I don't know who they're shouting about. There we go. There we go. Maybe some Brian Lacey fans in. There we go. Listen, guys, ahead of us, we have a fantastic tournament, historic tournament, 2 title fights, stage to the cage, as well as so many other fights to enjoy. You can join us on Channel 4, streaming DAZN, octagon.tv. Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure doing the series with you guys, sitting back here, reminiscing, and Pavel Neruda. Today is the day.
Let's go.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Octagon 48.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the fights you have been waiting for. This is the main card of the tournament. The battle for Octagon's first ever flyweight champion. One of Europe's best flyweights, Aaron Abbey is used to fighting not only in the cage, but also for his life. In the biggest match of his career, he is going to face Elias Garcia, who is yet to be defeated outside the UFC. Fighting giant and former world number 12 Scott Askham will face the finisher Ducis, who has all 9 wins within the time limit. The British Slayer Jakub Banik has 7 KOs in the first round under his belt, but he is going to be on the dark side of the force this time against rising star Jedi Wanless. The battle of British stars and the culmination of their stunning 10-month journey, where they pushed themselves to the limit. One of Britain's most famous comedians, Paul Smith, is going head-to-head with British reality TV star Jake Quickenden. Jack Cartwright, one of Europe's top bantamweights, will make his comeback to the cage against Brazilian tough guy Junior Assis. And also the grand finale between talented prospects from the MMA reality TV show Octagon Challenge. Europe's #1 amateur, Englishman St. George Staines, will face the uncompromising Irishman, Dennis the Menace Frimpong. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Octagon 48, AB versus Garcia.
Dámy a pánové, chlapci a děvčata, moji milí samurové, vítejte na turnaji Octagon 48 poprvé vůbec v Anglii. So, now it's gonna be in English for the very first time in English. So, welcome. My name is Ondřej, this is Brian Lacey, English voice of Octagon, and welcome you all on Octagon 48, not 84. It's going to be next year, maybe.
Maybe next year. What a night, though. This has been a long time coming, Andre. We are now in Manchester. We've done Czech Republic, Slovakia, Germany. The UK and Ireland is next.
Definitely. And we got a fight card which is stacked of home heroes and also international fighters, and also some finals and title fights. As one political fighter said, maybe the destiny.
Well, you look at our main event, 2 title fights on this card, but the main event, Aaron Abbey, one half of that. An amazing story going up against Elias Garcia, a world-class martial artist, coming on a 3-fight win streak, taking on Aaron Abbey. But let's talk about that story. Born with cystic fibrosis. His parents were told when he was born he would not live to the age of 21. They were told not to put him into sport because it would put too much stress on his lungs. He went against all of that, became and played elite level football at a young age, then moved into martial arts, got diagnosed with cancer at the age of 2017, and then overcame that as well. 4 years on from that, Andrei Novotny, he will fight in this cage for a world title here in Manchester.
Unbelievable story, and we will see if this story will be like Cinderella or the end will be not so happy for him, because against him will be representative of United States, Alicia Garcia, and only 2 losses coming from the UFC, 9 wins. He's full package fighter, and he's a favorite also on the betting company.
I don't think there's any doubt that he's faced stiffer competition than Aaron Abbey. His background with his cousins being the Pettis brothers, you know, it's in his nature, it's in his blood as well. He's got a tough task though here, because we have seen Aaron Abbey overcome ridiculous odds outside the cage. Now can he do it in it?
Another title holder coming from Octagon Challenge Final. We got one of the best, maybe the best season behind us. And in the end, there is the UK-Ireland final. So who you got in this fight?
Listen, from the very first moment we made this series, I remember telling you we need to do England versus Ireland because the rivalry is so real. It was an immense season. The back and forth, the pranks, the Irish team consistently attacking the English team outside the cage. But what has happened is we've watched the 2 best fighters rise to the top. Dennis Frimpong representing Team Ireland, George Staines representing Team England. 2 different personalities, 2 amazing martial artists, but only one of them can be crowned Octagon Challenge champion.
Definitely, and last but not least, there is also the final for reality show Stage to the Cage. You've been personally involved in an unbelievable way, I would say. So Jake versus Paul, 2 totally different characters, 2 guys who've been go through a lot. So do you believe that Paul can make it as a debutant in fighting sports after his 40 years age as a winner?
Listen, age is but a number. You talk about all the stuff that they've done and they do. They don't have to do this. They don't have to. They are massively successful outside of this crazy endeavor that they've taken on. But what has been mind-blowing to me, and I have got so much respect for both of them, is how hard they have trained for this. Their main aim is they love this sport. They want to represent this sport. They want to show not just the skills, how hard it is, the beauty of it, but they want to shine that light on the community of people, the beautiful community of people that take part in it. So we have had 2 people with crazy lives dedicate a year of their life to making this one walk into the cage. And tonight, it could be anybody. It could be whoever manages that first minute best.
Maybe, but there's behind this fight is also big charity story with Paul, who will give his whole purse to very nice charity in Liverpool. So maybe we can say something about it, just a few words.
Listen, I've bugged Paul for 3 months, phoning him consistently, persistently, chasing him to see if he wanted to do this. One day he phoned me, he said, I'm only doing it if I can do some good with this endeavor. He said, for my full purse, every single penny of it will go to Weapons Down, Gloves Up, a charity which is aimed at inner city kids that will, you know, that could fall foul of that. And he is working with that charity because he truly believes in it. And he said, if I can just take one knife out of one kid's hand, if I can put, you know, one kid on the right path, then everything I've sacrificed, win or lose, will be worth it tonight.
There is also Manchester kid, Jack Cartwright, who was the champion of many organizations in England, and now he's stepping to Octagon, and in his mind is only one goal, and it's to be an Octagon champion. Do you think that Jack Cartwright is the guy?
Listen, I called Jack Cartwright fights from when he moved into the pro ranks. I saw him go on that 10-fight win streak, win that Cage Warriors belt. He's had a long time outside the cage. This is 3 years since he's fought in Manchester. But his belief, his skill set is undeniable. He's not just one of the best bantamweights in the UK. He's without a doubt one of the best bantamweights in the world. But in his words, he said, I've got a crazy Brazilian in front of me, so the rest of the bantamweight division can wait. I got to deal with that guy first, and then we'll see what happens.
Definitely he's got against him the crazy eyes, because those eyes on stare down was the craziest I'd ever seen before. So maybe you check our website or social, and you will see it. Akon Wallace against Jakub Bahník. It's a highly ranked fight, and Jakub Bahník is a whole package, but he's best in his feet, where also Akon Wallace is trying to finish his fights. So it's definitely not going to be easy for the Jedi.
Listen, Akon Wallace has got the toughest test of his career on his hands. He has 7 wins, 7 finishes, but he's coming up against the British Slayer, Jakub Bahník. Jakub Bahník in 2 first-round performances beat Ashley Grimshaw, beat Jay Cuccinello, decimated them with the powerful hands that he possesses. So this will be the bar. This will be the test if Akon Wanless truly is the star that many people think he can be.
So we got a lot of fun in front of us. More than 4,000 people will come to this arena. They buy the tickets for our first tournament in Manchester, in England. So I believe this tournament will be really good. Enjoy, and we can start just now.
And gentlemen, and welcome here to Octagon MMA. I am Luke Barnett, and I will be taking you through as your commentator this evening. We should just be waiting for the rules to appear on our screen for our first time here in the UK, one and only AO Arena here in Manchester. And here we go. We have our rules for Octagon MMA. It's a mixed martial arts contest that will take place in a cage. The Octagon cage is the shape of a circle, and you can use boxing, Thai boxing, karate, and all striking techniques. And then if the fight continues onto the ground, you will see the contestants use wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Each fight is 3 5-minute rounds, apart from our 2 title fights tonight, which will be fought over 5 5-minute rounds. And watching those fights, you can see if they come to the end, it will be go to a judge's scorecard, and the judges will let us know the decision.
This is our fight card. Welcome to Manchester, people. Octagon 48 is here. What a journey this. We'll see the preliminary card kicked off with Galazi versus McDonald, Chadwick versus Palivka in a catchweight bout. Youssef making his debut. The Assassin Army will be here as he takes on the French veteran Day. And then Lahore versus Serdou. 2 fighters from the Tip Sport Game Changer. They will battle it out as our feature bout on our preliminary card. That after the Shamrock versus Bakoni fight, unfortunately, was called off by the doctor after the Shamrock kick to the ribs. That meant that Bakoni was unable to continue. But what a card this is. We will kick off with that Galazi versus McDonald. That will see Team England versus Team Ireland to open this card on our free YouTube prelim. And Luke, that Lahore Serdou, the fact that is on the prelims, what does that say about the rest of the card?
That is the fight I am looking forward to most, and it's so early on, just 4 fights in. 2 bangers, great fighters, very, very crafty strikers, and it's definitely, you know, we're in store for something fantastic in that fight. And all the other fights we have as well, like you said, on the undercard, just 4 fights because of the Shamrock incident. But we're going to open up as we plan to continue with the UK versus Ireland.
And then we will move to open the main card with the UK versus Ireland again. This will see George Staines, St. George Staines take on Dennis the Menace Frimpong for the inaugural Octagon Challenge England versus Ireland title. What a season that has been. That will be over 5 rounds. Then Jack Cartwright returns to Manchester here, 3 years on from his last fight in this city, taking on Assis. Stage to the cage will find the final answer to that season. Who will be the victor, Paul Smith or Jake Quickenden? And then we move up to the lightweights. Bannick versus Wanless. That is a brilliant fight. The British Slayer taking on the Jedi in Akon Wanless. Askham versus Ducis, our co-main event. And then we move on to our flyweight title fight. The inaugural flyweight title will go down here in this cage. Octagon 48 in Manchester. Can Aaron Abbey give that fairy tale ending to the incredible story of his life? Or will Elias Garcia really come over here, take that, and become the first ever unified American champion in Octagon history? Top to bottom there, Luke Barnett. We have got the best seat in the house.
And incredible having that flyweight title at the top of the belt, and a new title here, a new championship. And what a fight and what a story to introduce that to the Octagon MMA cage. Incredible stuff. In for a real thrilling night. 10 fights, 4 to start us off in the undercard, and We start on YouTube for free.
For free, yeah, that's bargain indeed. And then, of course, our main card will open up with that George Staines versus Dennis Frimpong. It has been an amazing season. You heard Andre Novotny say that the best season of Octagon Challenge they've ever made. They've made 7 across all the territories. The dynamics, the people, the rivalry, but above all, Luke, what they have talked about is the skill level of the fighters. And I think this is a shining light. Those two will be a shining light of just the level of mixed martial arts here in the UK and Ireland. That is the arena. This will be hosting those 10 fights, and we're going to kick it off here with Hassan Neri Galazi. Morning breakfast from Team England, taking on Aaron McDonald. McDonald from Team Ireland. McDonald making his professional debut. He did have a fight in the house under exhibition rules, but Galazi 4-1 in his professional career. Set and ready we are. Let's get this one underway.
A duel between Octagon Challenge contestants, Hassan Neri Galazi versus Aaron McDonald. Hassan Neri Galazi is representing England. He is a long-time member of Great Britain top team. And with 4 professional wins under his belt, he was clearly the most experienced fighter on the entire show. His life has not been easy. Due to military conflict, he had to flee his homeland and make his way to France. There he became involved in gangs, so he headed to England to make that his new home and to start a new life. Aaron McDonald is an experienced amateur fighter from Ireland, who has achieved 8 wins out of 11 fights. He managed to finish 4 of his opponents, and this bodes well for his future career. Will Aaron manage to send Galazi into retirement like he said he would? Or will Galazi make the Irish fighter pay the price for his words?
So here he comes, Aaron Machiavelli McDonald. What a guy this is, a real start of that season of Octagon Challenge, England versus Ireland. He took a lot of lessons from his loss to Bo Gavin in that fight. He was the first fight as well, Luke, and that's got to be the hardest. You've been on the reality TV shows. It has to be the hardest to take, right? Because they had to be ready to get on weight at lightweight, 70.8, and also, you know, the dynamics. The first ones to fight in that studio environment. It's unreal, right?
I was the first one to fight on the Ultimate Fighter as well, and you're the first person to make weight. So you don't even get to settle into the show, get in any sort of rhythm. You just straight in, bing, bang, got to make weight, got to fight. So it's definitely a challenge for him.
And now we welcome morning breakfast, Hassan Galazi. What a story this guy has as well. Grew up in the Congo. His dad was a presidential advisor. He was there at points of war, had literally assassination attempts on his house for his father, fled to France, got caught up in gang crime, then tried to get out of that, managed to get out of that, and has set up a beautiful life for him, a beautiful business, and a road that has taken him away from that stray path. And now tonight he makes that walk here, representing Team England, the country that has embraced him.
And walking out to Beethoven nonetheless as well. So really enjoying this moment. The walkouts are quite fast for a here in our early fight.
We've been told they're going to do the pre-checks backstage. So we'll have to be short and quick, Luke, but that gets us straight to the fight. And let's look at the tail of the tape between these two. 27 versus 34. Hassan Galazi there with the experience on his side. The tip sport odds both identical between Team England, Team Ireland. This to see who will take first blood. Will it be Team England? Will it be Team Ireland? Hassan Morning Breakfast Galazi taking on Aaron Machiavelli McDonald. An enticing fight. This a fight that was made on the show. Aaron McDonald called Hassan Galazi out. They sat for 30 minutes and now they will go to war.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, welcome on Octagon 48 in Manchester AO Arena. This is our first prelims fight. This fight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, lightweight bout, and the referee in charge is Václav Přibyl. Let me introduce you both fighters, and we will start in a blue corner. He's 27 years old, stands 183 centimeter tall, weight in 70.7 kilo. Represents Team Torres, and the coaches in his corner are Sebastian Torres and Kieran Brady. This is his first professional fight, and he's fighting out of Ireland. In the blue corner, Aaron Machiavelli McDonald. Across the cage in the red corner, 34 years old, stands 183 centimeter tall, weight in 70.7 kilo. Represents Great Britain top team, Galaxy MMA Academy. Coaches in his corner are Brad Pickett and Ashley Grimshaw. He has a professional record of 6 fights, 4 wins, 4 finishes, 1 no contest and 1 loss. Fighting out of United Kingdom, Haseen Morning Breakfast Gulazi.
Fighters, 3 rounds, 5 minutes, follow my instruction. If you won't touch gloves, go back to your corner. Good luck, man.
Final instructions are given. They called for it in the house. 30 minutes they went backwards and forwards. That fight was pretty much signed there and then. Tonight we get to see whether it will be Team England or Team Ireland that will claim the first victory here in the AO Arena in Manchester. Aaron Machiavelli in the white, green and orange shorts, representing Ireland in the blue corner. Hassan Galazi representing England in the red corner.
Aaron coming out early, nice and light on his feet, but almost gets kicked off of them there by Galazi.
Galazi had talked about the fact he has the experience of being in bigger fights. He's had titles, 2 titles before. Machiavelli, technically his first professional fight. Nice low kick there from Hassan Galazi.
Yeah, 2 heavier ones landing, then a teep there to the thigh and goes for it again.
Aaron McDonald said he's been training since the season finished. That was in the middle of July. He said it's not just been about physical preparation. He said he recognizes this event, this arena, this show is huge. So mental work as well, but this is a lot of pressure early from Hassan.
Yeah, Hassan Galazi getting in and controlling here with these double underhooks. Explosive, powerful.
There you look at his record, 4 wins, 3 finishes, 4 wins, 4 knockouts, 3 in the first round.
But sees that underhook, gains it, and looks for the outside trip as well. Great awareness there from McDonald. Grabs that underhook high as well, controls him well up against the fence and lands a good knee. Referees checking if it was low. They continue.
Aaron McDonald thinks Galazi hasn't taken this fight. Oh, that's low. That is low. McDonald instantly verbalizes that. As I was saying, McDonald reckons Galazi's only been training for about 8 weeks.
But McDonald's eye's already busted up a little bit.
Right eye, yes.
From that barrage of shots. There's the knee. It didn't look so low to me. It looked like on the low midsection, but in the replay, and the referee's got a better view than me, but it didn't quite look that low. But the eye is busted up from that entourage, just coming forward, throwing heavy shots. And that low kick is working for him. And that's something that Brad Pickett works a lot with his fighters.
That's what I was going to say. Brad Pickett, first thing he ever showed me was a low kick, and I regretted asking him to show it me. Oh, my God. Firing it again, aiming at that lead leg. And Machiavelli has that Muay Thai style stance. You see him sometimes raise that front leg. In fact, he's won titles in Thailand in Muay Thai.
Well, you might see Galazi come up high with that low kick to the head. Nice drop, change of levels. Beautiful hips, though, from Galazi there. Gets pinned up against the fence, but does a great job to avoid that takedown, because it was good timing there. Good timing from McDonald to get underneath the hips and evaded it well. Very good takedown defensing. Tries his own takedown and gets it. Off balances there, switches a few times, change some attacks together. Does very, very well. There does Galazi, and now on top.
Yeah, Galazi as well. You look back at some of his fights, his vicious ground and pound has been the route to victory in many of those. But McDonald just trying to tie him up here. Luke, what does he need to do to stop Galazi progressing this position?
Well, the problem is that the left arm that's wrapped around his entire body, that's controlling him right now, and obviously the underhook on the right side. Now he's given that up and he's changed up to an underhook, so he's got 2 underhooks. He's right by the fence, though, is McDonald. So if it was me, I'd be looking to get my hips back to the fence and create some posture. He's linking that leg with the right leg. That can just slow him down, but it's not going to do much. I would try and buck and get my hips back.
McDonald staying fairly composed though here. Again, I talk about that mental preparation. I had the pleasure of spending some time in Ireland with him as we were getting ready for this season, and a lot of the stuff he does is spiritual, is about meditation, is about, you know, controlling those emotions.
Beautiful underhook there, but could get utilized by Galazi if he wants to look for a Darce choke. He could punch that right the way through, has it deep, switches it up and goes to the knee. Great control point there from Galazi. Had that Darce all the way through and then just grabbed outside the knee to push him back down and control him. Beautiful awareness. And now on top, looking for heavy elbows.
And Galazi, He went back and forth with Frimpong. Came into the season with a broken nut, a very badly one. I got a picture. It was like 3 days before. Still wanted to be there. Was definitely compromised, but in that season, outside the cage, without a doubt, it felt like it was Team Ireland versus Hassan Galazi at some points.
Doing a great job at the moment. It's Galazi, though, to control and keep his man down. McDonald not even attempting a stand-up yet, quite happy to be on the ground underneath him.
I think he's just trying to control the strikes coming down. You see him wrapping him up here because Galazi's power is real.
Yeah, and he can generate it from a very short distance. We saw that with the eye very early on when that short barrage of shots really blew up his eye. So carries a lot of power in the hands. Good head position as well from Galazi here.
Let's talk about the moment as well, Luke, because these guys, yes, they were on the show, yeah, they've been out to Slovakia, they've witnessed some of the big shows and they've sort of soaked up the environment, but it's very different sitting cage side than being inside the cage, right? Managing those emotions is going to be a key factor. Nice work from Machiavelli, though.
Beautiful stand-up, and I think they're both managing their emotions very well, but we see it in that if we get to the break, in between the rounds, that's when sometimes you get the adrenaline dump and they're like, oh, I'm here, I'm actually in that fight, and it can really affect them. But so far, from the moment the fight started, they've both been extremely professional and fighting a very high pace so far. Exchanging, going back and forth, looking for takedowns, getting taken down. It's a good back and forth battle, this one. Great stand-up as well from McDonald to end that round. That shows they were going back and forth, felt like Galazi got a bit of dominance, but then McDonald, he found an exit, found an answer.
I have to say as well, having called a number of McDonald's fights before, sometimes he kind of blows his load, he's gassed in that first round, but look, he looks fresh, he does look like he's been in a battle, but in the house, when he fought Bo Gavin, he looked extremely tired very early on, but he said he has put so much work, so much preparation into being physically ready for this. Other side of the cage, Brad Pickett in the corner. He has flown in specially. He was miles away, made it here, has had to leg it straight to the cage to be here for Hassan Galazi. He was his coach through that. He's his coach outside of the season as well at Great Britain Top Team. That's a huge benefit, right?
Yeah, absolutely massive asset to have on the show and to go through that journey together, because that was what I found with reality TV with the Ultimate Fighter. For me, I was lonely. I missed my team. I missed my coaches, and it's a real big challenge. But having that through the journey, it definitely has helped him. We see here with a couple of the highlights going back and forth. This was one of the big moments, that beautiful takedown. Reverse lateral drop, great work there from Hassan. And then he managed to get on top and land some big elbows as well. So back and forth fight, but for me, Galazi definitely got the better of that round with that takedown and some top control.
And look at the odds there. Yeah, there you go. From almost, well, exactly even now. Galazi well in front there. Off we go, round number 2. McDonald, blue corner, coming forward. Big shots. Here we go.
Yeah, McDonald doing exactly what he needs to do and changing the pace of this fight and trying to change the dynamics as well, and coming forward and being aggressive, showing urgency. And like we said, for these guys that are a little bit less experienced, understanding that you lost that round and you've got to come out and you've got to make something happen, that shows, good fire intelligence. Great cornering, probably is a better way to put it.
The other thing as well, McDonald said one of his weapons, or he feels one of his advantages, would be Galazi's not going to be in the shape I'm in. To make him not be in the shape you are, you've got to push the pace, push the pressure, right?
Yeah, and Galazi was the one pushing the pressure in the first round. So if that's really what McDonald believes, then he needs to come out here, be urgent, and change it up. At the moment, stepping off the way he is, that's not pushing the pressure. Throwing one shot and then circling around. But early on he did. Great little tie plum attempt and landed a good kick as well. There's a nice outside kick from him. But needs to be aware of the power of Galazi, because if he lands, it hurts.
Yeah, he's trying to stay out of that range. Galazi, though, just edges forward. Oh, nice.
Uppercut to the left hook, stepped in, landed, but overthrew it a little bit and came a bit close.
Beautiful. Oh, that's heavy. That is heavy. Look at the welt on that leg already. That lead left leg right behind there, wrapped it right into the soft part there, the bit with the least amount of muscle to protect those tendons.
Yeah, McDonald was bouncing a lot in the first, the beginning of the first round, bouncing.
Oh, and again,
that bounce has definitely been taken out. Even switching stance, then gets kicked back into orthodox. This is where you might see him switch it up and go to the body or go to the head with that right leg.
A oblique click there from McDonald. You can see he's very cautious about those leg kicks. He's trying to stay well out of range now. All feints with the low kick, goes up high. Look how relaxed Galazi looks, right?
That was a nice idea, though. At least he's still in there to after, especially taking this damage to the legs. He's in there trying to think of ways to make a difference, to make something happen. Only halfway through this second round. Nice switch. Galazi's corner going crazy. I can't quite understand what they're saying, but going crazy, screaming at him. They want some more urgency from him.
Oh,
they want him to go to that
They
kick.
want the legs. They think the legs are done.
He's got to time it.
Just describe to people, because there is a point where, you know, you're taking these kicks and you see him take again and again, but at some point the leg just can't take it. The weight, you can't bear weight on it. It just, even the nerves to your foot, you can't quite place your foot right. It's like you're in quicksand.
That's why it hurts, that nerve. All big shots, heavy landed right in front of us in the ribs. Nice defense as well. But yeah, that nerve, if it constantly gets hit over and over again, it kind of just shuts off. And then that pain, it's hard to describe. It's not like the pain of getting kicked in the meat of the leg or getting hit in the ribs or the face. It's like a real sharp pain in the ankle. Beautiful work here, though, by McDonald, managing to convert this takedown. And he gets on top and he traps the legs as well.
Yeah.
In a very, very good position here is McDonald. If he can keep his body above that knee line, he needs to get his hips higher above this knee line, because if he can bend the knees, he can get the leg out, which he has now. Good work from Galazi. Giving up his back, though. Needs to be careful here. One hook is in.
And McDonald coming out of that Torres MMA school over there in Ireland. Hell of a BJJ black belt.
Beautiful work. Gets him directly back onto his back, and then from there wraps up this body triangle.
This has made it interesting, though, Luke. He had to do something. He was eating those kicks. It looked one-way traffic, but now he's got that takedown. He worked for it, and now taking the back 1 minute, 5 seconds to do something.
Yeah, has a great position here. See if he can do anything with it. And even like from those calf kicks, this pressure that you're putting on with this body triangle, it might be, you know, negated a little bit. Switches to the right side, does Galazi. Needs to put some pressure on that side. Needs to bring this leg here, needs to try and pull it back to put some pressure on that calf. Or kick it out to try and escape and turn in. Could spin in here to his left. But this is great work from McDonald, because he was definitely getting hurt in this round. And he somehow got to the back.
Again, you've got to think the damage from the leg kicks still gives Galazi the edge, right? But now this is where he needs to make something. Oh, he's going for it. He's looking for the rear naked chokes. 20 seconds, Galazi fighting 2-on-1 with the hands.
Yeah, Galazi's got that baseball bat defense, and it's going to be very difficult to finish him here, not quite under the chin. Now Galazi could spin in if he can get that left elbow tight. 10-second clack up.
And the countdown there from the corner. Listen to that. An interesting second round. You'd have to say the leg kicks, when you're talking about damage, they were definitely the most significant in the fight. But then, credit to Aaron McDonald. He is not out of this. He changed it up. He got the takedown. He took the back. And the corner, you've got to think, when you go by that, they've got to be saying, work for that takedown quicker. It looks like he's levels above on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm impressed with so far with McDonald is the fight hasn't been going his way in both rounds, but he's always managed to push through and find an answer. In the first round, he got the takedown at the end of the round. In the second, he managed to get to the back. So he's creeping closer and closer. So maybe in this third round, like you said, he can get a takedown earlier, establish a position earlier, and we can see something from him, because he's dangerous on the back there. And this was the opening start of the round. And he was aggressive opening up. I want to see that from him now. When he steps away and he gives space to Galazi, that's when he hammers him with those leg kicks, and he controls the distance very well. So it's super important that he's imposing in this third round. And you can see it. He's already up. He's already staring his man down, and he's already trying to get this fight going, because he knows the wave has turned and it's in his favor right now.
Set and ready we are for round number 2.
This is round number 3, our third and final now. Going to be interesting to see as Galazi comes out and see if he tries to target that leg again. The welt on it, oh, that one hurt. He can't hardly take that anymore, Brian. He's getting caught over and over again. Deep, dark bruise on that left leg. Galazi looks calm, but he needs to be more aggressive and not allow, or be careful with the takedown if you're going to be aggressive. But I feel like his opening is there. He knows what he needs to do. Even if he's going to feint it and go to something else, he needs to be dominating the space. There's another low kick, perfectly set up. Goes one side, then goes the other. McDonald on the edge now. Could be one kick away from the end of this fight. Switches stance and switches back. Extremely painful, those last 2 kicks.
Yeah.
It makes him switch stance again.
You're going to see the welt. He's bruising all that. He'll certainly be feeling that in the morning.
Glazy now stalking his man, searching for that kick, searching for that finishing strike, and doing so well stalking, not getting caught, not circling, just stepping left, stepping right, staying just out of distance. This is where I feel that McDonald needs to change the distance, change the dynamic. We've already had over a minute gone of this round.
Yeah, we saw what he could do when he got it to the ground in round number 2. Oh,
Big
that
shot
uppercut.
lands.
Stood his ground there, Galazi, and just fired that straight up the middle.
Well, McDonald now, you can see he's so distracted by this low kick. It's all he's thinking about. He's so worried about it. He's forgetting that Galazi can throw lever, can throw hands, walking into big shots. That's the other thing that it sets up, that pain. And that he just can feint that leg kick and he's going to freak out.
What's it take out of the actual takedown attempt as well? Because surely that's going to, you know, impede that.
Here we'll find out now if he can even get to it. Nowhere near. Great work from Galazi, but yeah, destroying that nerve takes away from that pressure, that push. And it's more just his mentality now. He's so aware and worried about this kick. Galazi can play on it now. End of this round, we've got, well, 3 minutes left. He can just keep playing with the idea of going to that kick.
Oh,
there it
does.
is again.
And that was so low, right on the ankle. And again, firing it away now.
Good urgency, though, from McDonald, and he doesn't care if he's wrapped up against the fence as long as he's not getting kicked. Beautiful work from Galazi there. The awareness to step away.
Listen, one of the things that Aaron McDonald said in our face-to-face talk with him and Galazi said, he thinks he's got all the attributes, Galazi, but he doesn't have the fight IQ. That was fight IQ right there, right? Not just get stuck against the cage, separate again, and go back to that.
And goes to the leg kick again, and yeah, McDonald wanted that. He wanted the engagement, he wanted the grappling. So being able to sense and be aware that your opponent, what he's looking for, what he's trying to bait, and then evade it, it's very, very clever from him. And he could just ride this out now and land those other kicks, because
again.
2 minutes to go in this third and final round. Galazi in this round really unfazed, standing right in front of his man, happy to throw that low kick.
And that's been the weapon of choice. We talked about it. When you go to Brad Pickett, there's a number of things that you will improve on. Your wrestling for sure, your top control, but also that weapon, the calf kick. Look at Nathaniel Wood. Look at all the fighters that come out of that gym. And now it's been epitomized and shown again by Hassan Galazi.
I remember about 5-6 years ago, Brad came and visited me out at my gym in Malaga, and he did a special on that. And that was 5-6 years ago. So I can only imagine how the technique's improved.
Well, he says to me, look, the best way to throw it isn't like a kick, it's like taking a penalty, like a soccer kick. Hassan Galazi was a semi-professional footballer, so that's going to be the best thing you can do for him, right? Just improve that, and we're seeing exactly the wealth.
Yeah, it's like kicking through the laces, you know, through the top of the foot, like direct, like straight. You think it should be coming round, but it's actually a straight kick that causes more damage. Beautiful defense on that takedown, and that was desperation there from McDonald. So now you can see desperation in his eyes. You can sense it from him almost. He needs to land. He needs to get the respect right now of Galazi. Galazi looks happy. He's almost smiling in there.
He looks fresh as well, Galazi, as much as Aaron McDonald talked about that 8-week camp.
Beautiful hips and takedown defense
underhooks there, and you can see the strength that would raise him, Aaron McDonald, back up.
And if you remember, the only one who's got a takedown in this fight so far has been Galazi. So, you know, that was, well, apparently that was okay. Looked low to me, but McDonald now fighting away. Good head position for him. Going to try and get this trip.
25 seconds left.
So again, the tenacious heart from McDonald.
Yeah, they're still fighting the dog without a doubt.
Gets to the back.
Is there time to do anything? 15 seconds now for Aaron McDonald. Can Galazi see this one out?
He's really going to go for this now as well. Last 10 seconds. Good work from Galazi. Kind of overshot it, did McDonald. But that again shows the level he has.
Really?
Shows the level he has, because he was beaten in that fight. He was destroyed. His mentality is great. He comes forward, has the skill set. He's dangerous on the ground. With some development, we're early on in these guys' careers.
Really?
I was impressed by McDonald's heart. Galazi, in my eyes, is one. We'll see what the judges have to say. But that low kick, I mean, it was
a thing of beauty, right? I mean, we're sitting outside, but we're calling it beautiful, but it is one of the most devastating strikes, and one that has emerged in MMA over the last 4 or 5 years. And that is why it is so devastating. It took away most of the game, right? It also made him worry about it. McDonald was so worried.
And seeing Gallese fight before, he's a very aggressive guy. You know, he comes forward like we saw early on in the first round. He's not very, you know, calm. And in this fight, he was extremely calm, extremely calculated, just relaxed, and just found that home for that kick every single time. So I was impressed by the maturity of his performance.
So we see the replays here. Talk us through the action. This is the end of the third round, I believe, Luke, and there just wasn't enough time. You saw when he got it there, it was impressive, but just not enough time.
Yeah, not enough time to finish off that round, and manages the same with all three. We see the stats here as we go to the decision. You see the strikes heavily in Gallese's favor. One takedown each, but the dominant positions as well. I feel Gallese was in charge of most of the fight, apart from maybe minute and a half that he had McDonald on his back. So controlled the fight well. He's happy, he's dancing, his team are happy, and I think they should be. A very, very mature performance from him, and put on a bit of a clinic with that calf kick as well. You can see McDonald struggling to walk around the cage, and the welt on that left side of his leg. He is beaten, but his spirit was still there, like I said. Extremely impressed with that. That's what fighting for me is about. I don't like seeing, you know, just front runners that they can look good when they're winning. McDonald surged from behind, came in the last minutes of every round, and he really tried to win that fight. Looked for the takedown, looked to get the back, tried to get the finish. He was always in that fight, and that's, you know, super important, especially early on in his career. We'll hand it over now to Andre Novotny to make it official and give us the judges' scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, let's see how the judges score this fight. All 3 judges score this fight 29-28, all for the winner, Hasim Morning Breakfast Gallese.
Hassan Gallese, come in, morning breakfast. Yes, listen, what a crazy roller coaster the last 3-4 months have been. Being on Team England, being part of Octagon Challenge, all the stuff you took outside of the cage in that house. How good does it feel to claim this victory here tonight in Manchester for Team England and your team back home?
Listen, this is a morning breakfast, guys. All I want to say, thank you everyone to come to support us. Thank you to the Irish team, English team. I'm very happy. Listen, this was a warm-up, you know. I've been telling you for so long time, people that don't know yet about me. I'm coming hard. Trust me, the lightweight division is going to be a trouble. Today for me was a warm-up. Obviously, I couldn't finish our run early, but my man thinks I want you to see myself if I can carry on for 50 minutes. Because people keep saying, Hassan is not a front fighter. They always expect me to be tough for the second one. That's why I want to be a bit longer.
The low kick, the Brad Pickett calf kick was in show, man. That was unbelievable. Was that a big part of the game plan coming in, or did you feel it out once you were in the fight?
No, well, that was the big plan coming in, but because I know how we spent time in the house, I didn't want to smash him too much. But I promise you guys, the calf kick from Brad Pickett, from Champon Zulu, yeah, this is the man thing. This is the morning breakfast.
There you go. Well, you are a victor. Congratulations.
I want to say something. Thank you for all my people from GB Top Team. Thank you guys for coming to support me. Thank you. Big dedicas with my big boy Gino Al Capone and Fali Pupa. Thank you guys.
Give it out one more time. Hassan Gallese.
From our free YouTube, and we'll move on to the prelim card. You can catch us on octagon.tv/EN. The EN stands for English, if you didn't know that, and you'll be able to hear our commentary, because this event is